the pilots are calm, they cool. You get into the air, they start making useless announcements that you don't even care about, just to give you that feeling that he knows what he's doing. You get up there as the seatbelt lights go off, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we've reached our cruising altitude. Currently sitting at 23,000 feet above sea level, cruising at about 720 kilometers an hour in this Boeing 737, one of our favorite planes in the Starflight Alliance fleet. It's a beautiful sunny day up here. We might encounter a few bumps, but nothing too hectic. The cabin crew will be taking care of you. In the front, we've got Esmeralda and Jonathan. In the rear, Simon, Dupitseng, and Ferrer. I'll be taking care of you. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to call. I'll let you know once we've begun our descent. Until then, please enjoy your flight. Thank you. Dun dun. You're like, oh yeah, pilot. Yo, my guy, pilot. It's cool. I just don't like the fact that they never let you know when something's gone wrong. It freaks me out because they trained to keep you calm no matter what's going on. And I noticed this because we hit turbulence. Coming into Joburg, there were hectic storms, and the plane started shaking, and it wasn't like the calm turbulence. It's that turbulence where people, the knuckles get white when they're holding their, and because people try and act natural in the plane, they'll be like, and then they get to a point where they're like, when that point comes, and everyone is panicking, except the air hostesses. They're amazing. I love how they do it, Like you'll hit the turbulence and be like, things are falling, the bags are hitting the sides of the compartments, people are panicking, and except they just move through naturally. It's freaky. It's almost like the lower half is not connected to the upper body, because they'll just carry on. They'll be like, yes, you guys, would you guys like some coffee? Yeah, okay. There you go. Be careful, it's hot. Thank you. All right then. Anything for you, sir? Yeah, okay. Okay then, just pass me a apple juice, all right, thank you very much. There you go. Would you like some ice? No ice, thank you. You know how they do it. And then the pilot has the nerve to come on in the middle of the biggest storm ever. The plane is shaking, the wings are tilting slightly upwards. You think you're gonna die. It's like, people are screaming. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, we've encountered some slight turbulence. We'll ask that everyone return to their seats at this point and refrain from using the lavatories. Please note we will be flying at a high altitude to try and alleviate the problem. Also, keep your seatbelts fastened, and no hot drinks will be served at this time for your safety. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you in a moment once we've gotten out of this bumpy patch. Speak to you in a moment. That moment might never come. He doesn't tell you this. When the nationwide flight lost an engine, the pilot said nothing. It just fell. Quiet. I don't want a pilot like that. I want someone who lets me know. I want to know before I'm going to die. I want to know. I want to say a prayer or two. I want to prepare myself, I want to forgive everyone that I hate in the world. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. But they don't, pilots. No, they don't. I bet people who die in plane crashes don't even know they've died. Must be the worst feeling in the world. There's like a whole bunch of confused people popping into heaven like, poof. I swear these airports change all the time. I never know where to go. I'm like, are we in heaven? Oh, wow, I can't believe we made it, hey? I can't believe, wow, this is amazing. And there's St. Peter at the gates, and he's like, come forward, please, come forward. Come forward. She's like, here you are, I'm St. Peter. How about you? Yeah, I know, many of people are shocked. Just come. I get that all the time. Just come. No, I just thought that, no, don't worry, just come, please. Just wait till you see Jesus. Come. I don't want that. I want someone to let me know when I'm gonna die. Like taxi drivers. There's no person who dies in a taxi not knowing that they've died. Just before the crash, taxi driver will be like, yo! People walking into heaven like, yo, dead. Dead. Yeah, no, Shonile, we're dead. Gone. Ay. They know. Sometimes they survive the crash, but they still think they did. They're walking on the pavement, dead. You're dead. But luckily we did land safely in Johannesburg. We landed safely and everyone clapped when the plane landed. Yay! Clapped and walked into the airport terminal building. And that's the point when you realize you're back in South Africa. When you're flying, it's international. And then when you land at any of our airports, And if you listen carefully, you realize that you're back. Like South Africa, once again, the world went there. Then we were like, no, going. Yeah, we'll find just that side. Because all over the world, they conform to a norm, and that is in airports, women make announcements. It's always a woman, always. And she's always calm, always monotone. Always come over that system. She sits in a room quietly. They bring her the pages one by one. You can be in Heathrow, for instance. You'll hear that woman come on the system. Ding, ding. Attention all passengers. Please note this is an airport announcement. No passengers are permitted to leave any items unattended, as this may be seen as a security risk. Any unattended luggage will be removed by security and destroyed. Thank you. Dun, dun. Everywhere in the world, even if you go to like non-English speaking countries, they still conform to that norm. You know, you go to places like China where you wouldn't expect it, you know. You think, I see some of you probably think they'll be like, no, don't even laugh, that's racist, don't even laugh. No, that's racist, you don't even laugh. But they're not. They're calm. It's a woman, still the same. She's just another language. She'll come on the piano and be like, dum dum. 才个有时都是，从早考个一学的，跑个一学的，不得其实爱为他个一起，从早考的一次，谢谢你，dum dum. And you know they've conformed. And then you land in South Africa. And you know you've landed. You know that you're back home. When you walk into the airport terminal building, you walk in, and I don't even know if they audition the people who do it. No. It's almost like whoever's closest to the mic gets to do it first, you know? It's the craziest thing. Luckily, 99% of the time it's a woman, but she'll come on. It's the craziest thing ever. As you walk in, she'll come and be like, dum dum. Attention all passengers. Attention all passengers. Hello, I'm talking to you. Hello. Yeah, all the people is like Kula.com. The plane is delayed. The plane was going on 2, it's going on 3. Yeah, all the people must just take a ticket for that one. Going to have a problem, nah? Just take on that. If a ticket says 2, then it's going to be 3, nah? That mustn't complain when the plane is not there, because then I need to tell you now. Then you must just phone the people that are coming to pick you up. Must tell them, yo, I need my plane is changed. It's stuck. And then they start speaking to people in the background. They don't even turn off their mic. All they must just tell the people they are. But tell you things. I want to play. I need to drink. I need to jelly. I need to drink. Yeah, I need to go. I need to jelly. Yeah, it's chicken. Yeah, yeah. I'm for the drumstick. I'm for the press. It's drumstick. Yeah, I'm for the drumstick. Okay, yes, I get 7. Okay. All the people is like one time. The gate is changed. It's not D2. It's C15. It's not D2. It's C15. If you can go to D2, oh, you can find nothing. Okay, bye. But I need my chain.
Hey there, thanks for watching. Now, all I need you to do is click on that little circle on your screen. Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah, just like that. Hold on. Yeah, click. Nice.
I'll be honest, I don't think that textbook thing is like a real issue. I feel like it's one of those manufactured issues that often happens in America that gets people riled up and gets them fired up, fighting about something that was never an issue to begin with, you know? And the reason I say this is because that's honestly what I believe. I feel like in America, politicians have done a really good job of tricking Americans into fighting about issues that were never an issue to begin with, so that you don't pay attention to the issues that actually are. You know? If they can get you fighting about what's in a textbook, you don't pay attention to the fact that inflation is out of control. You don't pay attention to the fact that rents are out of control. People cannot afford to live anywhere. Your salaries have never kept up with inflation. Corporations steal billions and billions of dollars from their employees with no ramifications. You don't pay attention to any of that. You pay attention to what's catchy. It's easy to keep up with. It keeps you going. You know? Ooh, can trans people use public bathrooms? Ooh. It's manufactured. Who was actually dealing with this issue? And I mean this, honestly. Who was actually dealing with this issue? You know what they did? Some politician out there figured out. They go, here's a small story affecting a few people in a random place. I'm going to make it seem like this is a nationwide issue. And then everyone starts fighting about it. But who? Who was really dealing with it? Huh? Who of you here has ever been in a situation where you were in a bathroom and all of a sudden a skirmish broke out and you heard people being like, excuse me, is this the gender that you were born with? Does it coincide with the sign on the door? Is your genitalia matching this? Can I see it right? Who's ever seen that? Nobody. Nobody. But they make us fight about it because it's catchy. Who can use which bathroom? Who cares? Who cares? I mean it. Who cares? I know someone will be like, oh, but trans people care. They want to know if they can use a public bathroom. Yeah, use whichever bathroom you want. Who's going to stop you? No, seriously, it's a public toilet. Who is going to stop you? You tell me who's going to enforce that law. We can't even enforce the idea that people should shit into the toilet. But you think magically they're gonna figure out if you were born this way? Use whichever one you want. Why are we wasting our time? Other people are like, oh, we're gonna fight because you gotta know who's using. Let me tell you something. If you are spending enough time to know the genitalia of the other people in a public bathroom, you're the creep. I'm worried about you. There is a simple rule to every public toilet around the world, and that rule is you get in, you pay no attention to anyone else, you hold your breath, and you get out. You're standing around staring at other people. Like every man in this room knows, when we use the toilet, what do? We get in. Public toilet, you stare dead ahead. You pee, you do your thing. You do not look to either side. If you're fidgety, you look up, you look down. You do not look at anyone else. The guy next to you could start choking. You don't turn your head, you don't shake, you don't move. You hear him like, you be like, hey man, hey, you all right? Yo, hey man, you okay? Yo, you want me to call? Hey man, are you okay? Yo, you want me to call? Don't look at me! What are we doing? What are we fighting about? Public bathrooms. And if you know your history, you'll know this happens all the time in America. It happens over and over and over again. There was a time when women had to fight to use public bathrooms in America. Imagine that. There was literally a time when women weren't allowed to use public bathrooms all across America, and they had to fight. And there were men who were angry. They're like, this is crazy. You're gonna have women in public bathrooms? That's insane. Like, how does it work? Huh? What, they're gonna come in there while we're peeing? And then what, they're gonna look at our wieners? Huh? And they're gonna laugh? Huh? Think about this, ladies. There was a time when women were first allowed to step into the workplace where there were no public bathrooms that they could use. So ladies, if you were out and about back then, you needed to pee, you needed to poo, you had to go home. Yeah, and I say poo theoretically, I don't know if you actually do. No, I don't think any guy does, let's be honest. We don't. Like, we assume this on a biological level, but I don't know for certain that any woman actually. In fact, any man in here, think of any woman in your life. Do you know the last time she pooed? I don't think you know. I don't think you know. There is no forensic evidence to back up that claim. There is no smell. There is no stain. There is no nothing. And ladies, I don't know who's doing your bathroom PR, but they're doing a stellar job. Stellar job. Women go to the bathroom, smells better when they come out of it. How? You never know when a lady's pooing, never. Because also, women keep the same amount of time. That's the most impressive thing. You give nothing away. Yeah, a woman's gonna go pee, it takes 10 minutes. She goes to the bathroom, right? Gets there, tinkle, 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 comes out, washes her hands, powders her face, texts on the phone a bit, comes back to the table. You have no clue. Yeah, if she's gonna go poo, same thing, 10 minutes. Goes to the bathroom, does a thing, pellets, comes back out, wash her hands, powder the nose, text her friends, get back out there. You have no clue. With men, you know exactly what we're doing. Discretion is not our forte. You know when every single man is gonna go pee. Why? 2 minutes. Off to the bathroom, we're in there. Quickest thing ever. It's like a NASCAR pit stop. Yeah, we get in, we pee, we come back out, act like we're washing our hands, and we're back. How do you know when we're gonna take a dump? Because it's obvious. We go to the bathroom, never come back. That's the last time you'll ever see us. Your family's putting up wanted posters in the restaurants. Have you seen this man? Imagine, people were fighting about bathrooms. This every time in America, every time. There was a time when black people had to fight to use public bathrooms. Huh? Same thing. Black people were like, why can we not use public bathrooms? And again, people were angry. This is crazy. You're gonna have black people in the public bathroom? How does that even work? Huh? So what, they're gonna be standing there while I'm peeing? Huh? And they're gonna be looking at my wiener? Huh? And they're gonna laugh? Huh? Yo, I'm old enough to remember when there was a discussion in America about whether gay people could use public bathrooms. This was an actual topic of discussion. I remember seeing people on the news being interviewed. They'd be like, do you think that gay men should be allowed into the same bathrooms as straight men? I'd be like, look, I don't mind what they do. If they keep it to themselves, that's fine. But like, just answer me this. How's it gonna work, huh? So what, you're in the bathroom with them and then what? Like he's gay and I'm just standing there and I'm peeing, huh? And he's looking at my wiener, huh? And then he grabs it, huh? And he starts yanking on it, huh? He just starts tugging away and I get hard and I'm enjoying it, huh? And then this is one of the best experiences I've ever had, huh? And then I start coming back weekly, hoping I'll bump into him, and I do, huh? And then at some point we agree to meet outside a nice little restaurant that's cozy and get to know each other, huh? And then a few years later we get married and our families are joined and we live happily ever after, huh? Is that what you want? Why? Public bathrooms. That's why you shouldn't bury your history. Yeah, because if you know it's happened, you know what to predict. You understand why it happened in the first place. When I think about like the history of racism, I'm fascinated by racism as a concept, as an action, policy. All of it fascinates me. I read these stories in history. And one of the most fascinating things I read about recently, one of the most fascinating places, was a place called Rochester, New York, where, genuinely, this blew my mind, where they had a city which was basically dedicated to rehabilitating people who had escaped slavery, right? So black people who had escaped the South, got into the North, were rehabilitated at this place. Frederick Douglass wrote many of his works there. The suffragette movement kicked off there. It's a powerful, powerful little place. And like I was reading these stories, and what they would do is slaves would escape from the South. They'd make their way to the North. They would get to Rochester. The Underground Railroad would get them there. And then they would rehabilitate them, put them on boats, and send them to Canada so that they could live free. And I was like, it's a fascinating story for two reasons. One, to remind you that there were a lot of good people, white people out there, because a lot of time I get angry at white people, and then I'm like, no, there's good ones, calm down. And the second part of it that was amazing was that they convinced black people to get back on boats. I think that's one of the most amazing stories I've ever read. Because do you know how convincing you'd have to be to convince someone who's they've just escaped slavery? Think about that for a second. Somebody's just escaped slavery. They've made their way there, finally. Right? They wake up after one night of free sleep. And they walk out and it's just like, hey, man, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you did for me, man. Well, you know what, my friend? Nobody deserves to live the way you lived, and I'm glad we got you out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, my friend. Okay, all we got to do now is get you some paperwork, get you cleaned up, and put you on a boat, get you to Canada, and you can live a free life, and everything's going to be better. I'm sorry, hold up. Could you come again? What did you say? Oh, I know, the paperwork thing is weird, but we got to get you some identification. No, you said something about a boat? Yeah, we're going to get you on a boat so you can get to Canada. We don't do boats no more. I don't know if you know our history, but me and my people, we took a cruise one time. That shit didn't go so well.
So yeah, we got to find another way to get to Canada if you don't mind.
No, but the boat is the best way for us to get there from Rochester.
Yeah, that might be the best way for y'all, but we gonna walk. Hell, we can run real good. We can run, but we ain't getting on no boat.
My friend, you gotta get on the boat.
Man, I ain't gotta do shit. I just got free. Imagine if I get on that boat and on the other side I'm in the same place. What they gonna say to me? Why'd you get on that boat? Because he was real nice. Oh, hell no. I ain't getting on no boat.
Well, you gotta get on the boat, though. You gotta get, you're free now. You gotta get over this.
Look, man, maybe one day in a few hundred years, one of my descendants named Kanye West will be over this shit, but I ain't over it right now. So I ain't getting on no boat.
We gotta get you on the boat, damn it!
I'm not getting on no boat. And that was the day the phrase "nigga please" was invented. And white man turned and he was like, "Nigger, please, I need you on that boat." And that story was passed down generation to generation. Black person to black person, free man to free man. So then that white man got down on his knees and he said, "Nigga, please. Nigga, please, nigga, please. I ain't never heard that phrase before in my life. Nigga, please, nigga, please, nigga, please." I know that's probably a phrase Barack Obama used at least once in the White House. At least once.
Like, Mr. President, do you think Trump is because of you? Do you think you caused this?
Nigga, please. Just one time. One time I know he used it. Actually, I had the pleasure of meeting President Obama while he was still in office. Probably one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my life. Yeah, came out of nowhere. I was at the Daily Show, I was in my office, and I got a phone call from the administration. And someone on the other end was like, "Hi, Trevor, would you like to interview the President of the United States in the White House?" And I was like, "Do you ask stupid questions?" He's like, "Of course I want to meet the President of the United States. Are you serious?" And the day finally came, went to DC with my TV crew, and they set us up in a room which is literally opposite the Oval Office. We put all our cameras in place, and all we're doing now is waiting for the President to arrive. So we're staring at the door with bated breath. And the reason we're staring is because they don't give you an exact time of the President's arrival for his safety, right? So they just give you a window, like the cable guy. So we're all waiting there, listening to every footstep, every moment. And then he just popped in behind us, scared the shit out of everybody. Yeah, because there's a secret door, but they don't tell you, again, for safety, right? So we're staring at that door, and all of a sudden he was like, "Hello." And I was like, "Ah!" But I had a great time in the interview with him. He was really, really kind to everyone in the room, and then we turned off the cameras, and I promise you he became even nicer. We just had a conversation. I thought he was going to leave. I mean, he's President of the United States. You've got to go do something. And he just chilled for a bit, you know, and we spoke as human beings, and it went really well until he turned to me, and he said, "Trevor, you know, I got a show that I'm doing in a few weeks, a little thing that I thought maybe you'd want to pop by and perform, if you don't mind." I said, "Mr. President, I would be honored. You just let me know when and where. What's the show going to be for, sir?" He said, "Oh, well, Trevor, I'm doing a little thing for my AIDS, and I thought maybe you'd want to be there." I said, I would love to. Thank you. I'm sorry, a show for what?" He said, "For my AIDS, Trevor." I said, "You have AIDS?" And then he explained what he meant. And I wanted the earth to swallow me whole. Because I had just looked at the President of the United States and asked him if he had AIDS. And you know what the worst thing is that he was nice to me as well? Because I said that, and then he explained, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. President, I didn't mean that. I don't even know why I thought it's just like you said AIDS, and like the AIDS, you know, because here's the thing, in my defense, right, I get it now. He means AIDS as in the White House aides, the people who help the president. I get it now, but in my defense, where I'm from, AIDS is some other shit that doesn't help anybody. No one in Africa is walking around like, "Let me introduce you to my AIDS, huh?" So now I'm here and I'm frazzled. I'm like, Mr. President, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. You don't have AIDS. You definitely, and even if you did have AIDS, there's nothing wrong with having AIDS. There's no stigma. We can still be cool. Actually, I don't even know why I'm saying this. I'm so sorry. And he's like, Trevor, calm down. Trevor, calm down. I was like, I'm so sorry, Mr. President. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said I'm probably the dumbest person you've ever met, Mr. President. He's like, no, Trevor, calm down. I'm the dumbest person you've ever met. He's like, no, Trevor, that's not true. I've met Trump. Get out of here! So smooth. I'm used to it in life, though. This is something that commonly happens to me living in the US. You know, I understand it as an idea. If you move to another country, you're probably going to have to learn another language. I didn't realize that would happen in America as well, because I speak English, but here people speak American. Similar, but not the same, right? So like small things change, small things, and I accept that small things change, like pronunciation. For instance, the thing you drink, I call that water, yes, water. In American, you say water, right? Water. Yeah, I say water because there's a T in the word, right? The glass you see yourself in every morning, I refer to that as a mirror, yeah, right? In American, you say a mirror, right? A mirror, yeah, which is not the same thing to me. A mirror is the glass. A mirror is a Middle Eastern man. Very different experience. It's not the same thing. And that's just pronunciation, right? You also have to learn the meanings of words that you already knew when you moved to America. For instance, where I'm from, there's a garment that men commonly wear under their shirts. It's white and it's sleeveless. Yeah? Where I'm from, we refer to this as a vest, okay? I've now learned in American, it is known as a wife beater. Yeah, I have so many questions. And so the best and worst experience I had learning American happened to me when I first moved to the US. I lived in California, in Pasadena, when I first came to the United States, right? And the reason I lived in Pasadena is because that's where I knew my first American friend, a guy by the name of David Meyer. He came to South Africa to film a documentary. We became the best of friends. And one day we were hanging out in Dave's apartment. And Dave's chilling on his beanbag. And he looks over at me and he's like, Trevor, dude, I don't know about you right now, but I'm starving. I said, I think you mean you're hungry, Dave. I said, what? I said, it doesn't matter. What do you want to eat? So you know what I'm craving right now, man? I'm craving tacos. I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. Let's do it, man. Let's go to tacos. What? So isn't that the restaurant you're craving? Tacos? Are you being serious right now? You've never had tacos? I said, no, I don't know what tacos is. You've never had tacos? My answer hasn't changed from now, Dave. No. I've never had tacos. You've never had tacos? And by the way, I hate it when people do that. You know when people ask you the same question over and over again because they can't believe you haven't had the exact same life experience? You know that thing people do? Like with everything, they'll be like, oh my God, have you heard the new Beyonce? No, I have. You haven't heard the new Beyonce? No, I have. You haven't heard the new Beyonce? Oh no, now I have. No, I'd never had tacos, right? I'd never had tacos because in South Africa, we don't really have Mexican food, okay? We don't have Mexican food because we don't have Mexicans. They never came over. It's not my fault. Dave was personally offended. I'll never forget, he jumped up and he was like, dude, I cannot believe you've been in America all this time and you've never had tacos? I said, Dave, why is it such a big deal? He's like, because, Trevor, nothing says America like tacos. I said, really? Nothing says America like Mexican food? And you know what's funny is I feel like in that moment, I feel like Dave was being profound. He didn't even realize it, but that was a profound little nugget that he had just espoused. Nothing says America like tacos. I've had the privilege of traveling everywhere in this beautiful country. I've been to places like Erie, Pennsylvania, El Paso, Texas, Honolulu, Hawaii, you know. I've been everywhere, and one thing I've learned across the board in America is that Americans love tacos. Everywhere you go,
Americans love tacos. Love tacos. Even people you wouldn't expect. I was watching the news one day, and there was a guy at a rally, right? And they were asking him about immigration and families being separated, etc. And this guy, like, regardless of his politics, like, he was being really mean and xenophobic and racist, you know, just acting real presidential. And the journalist asked him about children, and he just went straight, and he was like, boy, I'll tell you what, I don't give a damn about any of these goddamn Mexicans, you heard? They came over here, they ain't supposed to be here, boy. Woo! It's our country now, you heard? That's right, boy, go back to where you came from. Woo! These Mexicans ain't done nothing good, they ain't brought nothing good to America, we don't need y'all. Come on, Bubba, it's Taco Tuesdays. Get out of here, but leave the recipes. I feel like there should be a rule in America. They should say, you can hate immigrants all you want, but if you do, you don't get to eat their food. Yeah? That's a fair exchange for me. You hate immigrants, no immigrant food. And when I say no immigrant food, I mean no immigrant food, nothing. No Mexican food, no Caribbean food, no Dominican food, no Asian food, nothing. Only potatoes. And I'm not even saying like flavored potatoes, I'm just saying plain potatoes. No spice. Because no immigrants, no spice. Don't ever forget that. Both figuratively and literally, no spice. And I know some people would take that, I know. I know there's some people right now who'd be like, well, you know what, Trevor, take your immigrants, take your spice, and get the hell out of here. You say that now. Because you've never lived a life without spice. But don't ever forget, a life without spice was so hard, that it made white people sail around the world to find it. And like, this wasn't regular sailing. This wasn't like a Disney cruise. These people sailed at a time when they believed if you went that way, you would fall off the edge of the earth and die. And still, some man out there was eating some white lady's cooking, and he was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I'm sailing that way. But what if you die? At least it's exciting. No immigrants, no spice. And definitely no tacos. And I know my friend Dave would never allow that. I've never seen him so passionate. He got up, he gave me a speech about tacos like he was the heir to a taco dynasty. He finally turned to me, he's like, Trevor, as your friend and as an American, I'm gonna make sure that you get tacos if it's the last thing I ever do. I was like, why don't we just go now, Dave? He's like, that'll work. You know my favorite part of any conversation is when people think you're gonna argue with them, but you agree, and they've already chosen anger. Because nobody just changes their tone. Everyone has to stick in the anger for a while because they think it makes them seem less crazy. Like, it happens in relationships all the time. You'll have a fight that's not a fight. You know, just be like, God damn it, Karen, every time I ask for your support, you're not there for me and it hurts me sometimes. You know what, Bob, I'm sorry. No, don't try and thank you very much. I didn't think you would apologize, and so I chose this tone, and now I feel like an idiot. I'm gonna leave the room and reset. Because I wasn't gonna fight. I wanna have tacos. Mexican people, I don't even know what it is. I think it's just people, we have a connection, you know? I don't know, South Africans and Mexicans or something. People from shithole countries, we have this thing. I still can't believe the things Donald Trump says. He's such a... For me, Donald Trump is an emotional paradox, I'm not gonna lie. You know, logically I can process him, emotionally I struggle. On the one hand, I will admit I wake up many days terrified at the notion that he's president of the most powerful nation in the world. But I also must admit I wake up many days knowing he's gonna make me laugh. Yeah, there's terror and there's joy, and I don't know how to feel. You know what it feels like sometimes? It feels like there's a giant asteroid headed towards the Earth, but it's shaped like a penis. Like, I think I'm gonna die, but I know I'm gonna laugh. Because you just look at everything that he does. The world we now live in because of him. Like, you realize we're living through history. You know, this will never happen in our lifetimes again. We're living through a time when we're all learning about the presidency at the same time as the president. That's never happened. How wild is that concept? You wake up every day reading the news and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. And somewhere at that exact same moment, he's reading the same news going, wow, me too. And nobody knows where it's going to lead. Nobody knows what he's going to do. All we know is that he wants his wall. He wants his wall. Donald Trump wants his wall. He needs $25 billion the last time he asked. He needs it from American taxpayers because Mexico is smart. That fell apart real quick. I remember how confident he was at the rallies, people cheering for him. He was like, folks, we're going to build. We're going to build a wall, folks. Who's going to pay? Mexico. And Mexico was like, we ain't paying for shit, man. We might build it, but we're not going to pay for it, man. And I don't know if you've been following The Journey of the Wall, but it's probably the best comedy on TV, right? Because now they've started building prototypes of the wall at the border, right? Because Donald Trump said he wants them to test the wall first. I don't know how you do that. You know, it's just like, try again. And because this is the prototypes, Donald Trump now has specifications for the wall. He now says he wants the wall to be made out of concrete, but he also needs the wall to be see-through, right? And the reason the president wants the wall to be see-through is because he said he's afraid that drug dealers from Mexico are going to shoot bags of drugs over the wall and it's going to hit Americans on the head as they walk by. So he needs the wall to be see-through so that Americans can see the drugs coming and catch it. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what a see-through wall is. But at this point, I'm just worried that a contractor is going to come along and trick the president. He's going to take him to the border and be like, there it is, Mr. Trump. Your invisible wall. And then just to make sure he buys it, he's going to hire a troop of Mexican mimes just to be like, oh my God, you can't get through it. It works. Like the mind of Donald Trump. Oh, the other idea he had for the wall was he said America should build the wall out of solar panels. That's what he said. He said America should build the wall out of solar panels because that way the wall would generate electricity and pay for itself. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to lie. That's a good idea, right? It's a good idea. Unless you know anything about solar panels or the sun or walls. Because the problem with that idea is that the sun is up. Yeah? We'll agree on that. We're still on the same page there. Yeah? The sun is up. Right? A solar panel wall is not going to work because a wall is like this. So technically it's facing down. So unless you have like a really swaggy sun that's like, yeah, I shine real low, B, it's not going to work for you. The only way it works is if you take your border solar panel and lean it at an angle to get the sun's rays. But if you do that, now you've just created a giant ramp for Mexicans to shoot into America. He's like, órale! The mind of Donald J. Trump. The J stands for Jesus. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, a lot of self-loathing going on there. And he's always going after someone, right? He's always going after someone. If it's not Mexicans, it's Muslims. If it's not Muslims, it's Africans from shithole countries. And that one was my favorite personally, because I am an African and I've shat in a hole. I also liked it because like people came up to me and asked me questions. There was one man who came up to me after a show, really concerned. He was like, Trevor, hey, could I ask you a question? I said, yeah, go ahead, my friend. He said, hey, Trevor, I just wanted to know when Donald Trump says all these these horribly racist things, do you sometimes just want to, pack it up, leave America, go back to South Africa and escape all this racism? I said, my friend, you don't go to South Africa to escape racism. That's where you go to stock up. Are you kidding me? That's the one thing that reminds me of home. Racism out here. Because we've got tons of racism in South Africa. And don't get me wrong, it's gotten a lot better. When I was growing up, we had apartheid. And, apartheid was basically the best racism in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I mean, now you're going to feel bad and be like, oh, racism was the best. No, it wasn't. It was good, but not the best. And I experienced a bunch of racism, and everyone did. I never felt like it was a bad thing, mostly because of my family. My mother is a black woman, Xhosa woman. My father's Swiss from Switzerland. And them being a couple was against the law, and that was a problem for us living together. And so we experienced a ton of racism. And in case you're wondering, yes, Xhosa is one of the languages with the clicks in it, right? Xhosa, but not like in American movies, just so you know. Yeah, I've seen those movies where they have Africans and they're like, that's not a language. Yeah, even we watch those movies and we're like, I wonder what they are saying, yeah? Where are they from? I think they're from Cleveland.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can win cool prizes. And by prizes, I mean surprise. There's no prizes. It's a free YouTube video, you greedy. Just click the video, man. Why you want free things on free things?